Hi all. Here I am back. You like the view? I found it for you. I'm here to just give, I said in April with the weather forecast for the summer that I didn't really have a lot of observation to go on, and that I would be back towards this time frame between May and June to see if I could give you a better, give you something, give you a bone to chew on. I think it's the best thing to say. As it is, I like to, my shtick is to sort of look at the Milky Way and from there put together some sort of weather forecast that can last up to 6 months pretty reliably, insofar I get to see the Milky Way, which is not always so easy, and sometimes, well, it's work in progress, I suppose, but it doesn't take a lot of equipment, but it has taken quite a lot of years to get a good hang on of what we are looking at and what the different effects we can expect. But I think I've been pretty good at it, actually. If you're interested, you can see some of the former videos. I've started doing this publicly in 2018, so that's 6 years now. But by gosh, for myself, I've been doing this at least since 2007, so quite a few years there. In the first decades, I think you can believe me when I say I didn't quite believe it myself, because it seemed like there's something we have overlooked when we are making weather predictions, and it seems like it's something some of us knew in earlier times, because I have found in books talking about old weather signs, observation of the Milky Way have cropped up here and there, but not much. And I think I'm sure from what little I've seen, I think I've taken it a whole lot further. I'm also working in a lot of the science that I've learned from James McCanney, who's I cite often in my talks, because that is, very fundamental to just understanding how electrical forces in the universe behave, I think we can say. He has got a book called Principia Meteorologia, the physics of sun, earth, weather, that I always encourage people to get, and also a lot of other products from his page. There's do that. And since I didn't get so much look at the Milky Way this season, I can only do whatever I learned from the book then. Well, I get into it as we go in. You see, around the 3rd to the 4th, and weather has, there's going to be some, there's going to be a few things you probably didn't know so much about in this talk. The June 3rd to 4th, I already seen it on the internet. We can expect another huge geomagnetic storm heading our way. I think you should take heed of this, especially if you are a farmer down in Europe, righteously revolting against these greedy politicians that just want to make life miserable for everybody. I root for the farmers. I root for the people that want to take some of our freedoms back. These are, self-evident. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that every man is created equal. You know that thing, right? But it seems like most people don't care. They keep talking about we have to sacrifice for the greater good. Yo, kid, do you know that freedom is the greater good? And if you sacrifice your freedom, you sacrifice the greater good. But if it's just to be nice to the rulers that so often are not nice to you, we got to get over this. We all. It's just sad. But have a prayer about it. I think prayer is good anyway. So at least then we will have now just like 4 days from now. Today is the 31st of May. So you know what time frame we're talking about. June 3rd, June 4th. Geomag storms, what more? Sunspots. I think that's gonna be. It might be one of the stronger ones, for all I know. We had during May, we had one of what they call a Carrington level event on the sun, which is, I think, from the early days back in the 1850s or something, the most original Carrington level event, sunstorm so big. If we had a well-developed electrical system like we have today, it would have been blown out of the water. Not a big deal back in those days because there was hardly any electricity around. So, but today is a bit different. Most people are dependent on functional electricity, and it's very vulnerable, the system, and it's slated to be taken down at some point. This has been in the cards for several years. Taken down by that I mean it's supposed to be taken down by people on the ground, and it's gonna look like a fake. No, it's gonna be a fake event that's gonna be made to look real. I think that's the way to say it. Sometimes I'm wondering, might this one upcoming be that one? I would like not to. And from what also I have understood from the storms that came in May, that also were quite severe. The electric system, Texas and the Midwest had a big, in the States they had they felt it. They were more in, it seems like in the direct area where these storms were hitting and got it harder. So they had some quite extensive outages as a consequence. So this might, these things happen. And usually when you hear the experts on television talking about it, they talk about it like they are in control, and there are ways to mitigate this. One thing you can look at, and which I also would like to go and find when I when I can, go on internet and look up EMP Shield. EMP Shield. That's shield protection against electromagnetic pulse that you can mount on your vehicle or in your house or farm, and you had some line of defense against this. Otherwise, if not, then buy candles. So that's the 3rd and the 4th of June. Moving on, around this is also in June, I believe. I'm so stupid when I don't write the month. I just write the dates on a different line, but it's a different line, so and different dates. So around the week from the 20th to the 27th of June. But now that I'm talking with you and you are listening, I can tell you, just to make sure, go to your three-dimensional planetary orbit simulator and see where the Pluto is around that area, from the 20th to the 27th of June. If it's not June, it's July, but I cannot check here right now. Pluto and Earth are in direct line with the Sun, so but Pluto is really small and really far out there. I don't think it's gonna be a big event, but I make note of it even so, because that's part of the weather forecast that I can offer with what I have. Yeah. We were talking about the farmer revolt that I support. I support it even more so because, and this is not directly weather related, but just wait a bit later into the recording. I'll see I can tie it together. From the beginning of July, these then world powers that I have so little spare time for, they are going to start rolling out their computer ID thing, where, well, they say it's, and that I agree, it's good that you identify yourself on social medias and such. Though we all love anonymity, for sure, the privacy of our own home and stuff like that. These are things that are more valuable than we tend to appreciate. I don't know about you, if you had this happening to you, but you're sitting in front of your computer and you're doing your thing, and suddenly you see lamp on the monitor that signals that the camera is on and recording you has been turned on remotely. That's very much a direct invasion of privacy, and with a lot more of people's personal information being online, readily available. Doing more stuff that requires you to do more stuff online is a slippery slope, I think. And while they're gonna say it's for the greater good, believe you me, it's gonna take us down the route to a technocratic scientific dictatorship where you don't have any personal rights. This is what is going to take us into this social currency thing that really I've been dreading since the beginning of my days. I'm sort of always try to, could we talk about something real here? When people have it nice and comfortable, they don't want to talk about real stuff. When things are very rigid and uncomfortable, people at least of all want to talk about uncomfortable stuff. So here we are. We are between comfortable and uncomfortable. So here might be there is some respite to talk about some real stuff. So this global ID system, a lot of it came in with, of course, with these experimental shots that is causing havoc worldwide. I've let on that those of you who had these double experimental injections because of a farce on television. A lot of money went into buying all that airtime to have those people standing there 24/7 spewing the same garbage day out, day in to promote fear. So you better believe it's real. You got a Bluetooth connection, and that Bluetooth connection is scannable or will be made scannable, and before you know it, you're gonna. That's your social security number, and all the details there are. So I think that's going to be I just don't have any words for it. I'm really sad. This is the state of things, but this is the state of things, and what is most likely to be happening is coming online this summer, beginning from the 1st of July, and in various forms all over the planet. So just be aware of that. I think it's sad. What can we do? We'll get to it. Okay. This is here for the weather. I've written here on the 9th of September. Old Saturn is playing into our weather. With Saturn, there is, and this is, this is also in September. I did I did get to see a little bit, very late in the season, of the Milky Way. And and if you trust my interpretation, is that coming from late July and throughout most of August into September, then there's going to be plenty of rain. And that also is corresponding pretty much to the hurricane season. So I would expect a pretty wet hurricane season this year for you people over in the States. Here in Norway, I think it's going to be wet. Never you mind me saying I think it's going to be a dry summer. In the original video, I had nothing to go on at the time, so I made the best guess I could, and I made as many provision as possible that you should just that I didn't have a lot to go on. And then I based the talk on things you should prepare for, because we are coming out of an ice age, and there is plenty of reason to believe that water is going to be. Your access to water is going to be dependent on your ability to log in, and your ability to log into the internet is going to be dependent on how you view the political system, which, if the only option you have is that you think God blessed technocratic dictatorship, which he did not. But if you don't say it's the best thing since sliced cheese, you don't get your water. That could be one consequence of what this computer identification thing, when that starts to get some steam, and people find that all the things that used to be so easy just a couple of months earlier is suddenly turning into a big chore, and you cannot survive without it. So there's another reason to just continue the planning on making ponds and pools and water collecting units, and have fun with it. I think that's. I do a lot of stuff, and usually I do it with a smile on my face, because what is mostly lacking is some people around that to have inside jokes and to develop themes and such. My humor is mostly in my own head, because I don't have so many people to. But I will try, if I get some money and I can head out, meet people. I will try to be a bit more sociable. And I have this DJ thing. I mean, what I like about DJing is I can be among people, but I don't have to talk so much with everybody all the time. And sometimes when I get talking, I talk too much. So that's that. Well, anyway, that's September. There's not so much happening, because we had most of the big things at the time was last fall. We had most major planets doing some things with us, and we had this miserable winter also as a sort of consequence, and we are still living in well, we might still have 4 very slow-moving comets in our solar system, but they are starting to get out of the way, except this one, Chuchinjian Atlas, which seems to be a very short orbit comet, but very slow one. I am not sure why it not has been detected earlier, because it seems to be on just a short orbit, like this, where we are coming like this. Oh, it's we are going like this, around the sun, and this one comes up like its orbit is counter to the rest of the solar system. One of those retrograde ones which exist. So what I wanted to say about Chuchinjian is that from the 5th to the 13th of October, at least, it's gonna be somewhere between the orbits of Mercury and Venus, which luckily are not going to be factoring in here. This is just going to be the approximate, just like halfway to the sun from us, basically, give or take, and it's going to be right between us and the sun, and it's going to have likely a pretty big tail. and that's gonna cause some stuff here. It could. I think now we are getting we're getting to the where I wanted to go with the farmer rebellion. Beware of EMPs, and in June, beware of global ID. This is something because I write, and no, I don't write yet. I want to write. I should start writing soon. With so much, just to get things in context. But I came across this little tidbit of information from around 1619 from one of the astronomers that lived at that time. Those people did not believe in Big Bang. They were, for the most part, whatever religion, whether they were Buddhist or Christian or Muslim or Aztec, what they wanted to do was not to make the whole of history becoming untrue like today, but they wanted to make correlation to what happened in the past and what might happen again, which today comets are widely marketed as dirty snowballs, even though no snow has been, water or ice has been found on any comets. They are just these big, really, really black stones, charred stones, nothing resembling a snowball. So, and this has been known, if you listen to mechanics, that they've been hearing this for 4 decades, and they still cannot let that dog lie. But in 1610, they didn't really understand what comets were any which way. That didn't come around. They wrote something though. Desiccation of the crops and barrenness, pestilence, great stormy winds, great inundations, shipwrecks, defeat of armies, or destruction of kingdoms. The cease of great potentates and scholars, schisms and rifts in religion, etc. The portents of comets are threefold, in part natural, in part political, and in part theological. That's the view astronomers expressed about comets in 1618. What's that? It's 400 years ago. They were way more advanced in their understanding of the comets and the heavens and the stars than we are today. With what I've made in this forecast and in other forecasts, I'm again and again we are hammering on the walls of Babylon, so to speak. Yeah, the CO2 taxes. No, you cannot tax yourself to better weather. It's too far-fetched. Get a grip. Weather is something that comes